Welcome to Tulip Rose Gallery.
Today I'd like to take you on a tour of Tulip Rose Gallery and the gardens, and I really hope you enjoy the art. It's brought to you by several different artists, all local.
These are two very beautiful works by Leanne Maxwell. They are magnolias, which she quite often paints, sometimes in blue, but you can't actually get blue magnolias, but that's just fine. Artist Tracy Lee Casson, who quite often paints seascapes, and we have three: Sapphire Sea, Sea Foam, and The Blues Are Part of Us. These are available on the website if you're interested, and they're $320 each. Here we have Laura McCarthy's work. This is her New Zealand series, very popular. Got a few red dots there from the exhibition. Everyone likes this one down here at the bottom. Still got three of them available. And this beautiful waterfall, which is near Waikaremoana. She's also done recently this lioness, her favourite animal, a kudu. And zebras, which she's painted before, but these ones are rather beautiful. I like the background. Laura paints in oils. She also has these lovely African women. All three of them she has met, which is fabulous. This bottom one has sold, and I think they're from 3 different African countries. This one up here she met in the desert. This lady pops out of nowhere with a baby while she's photographing flowers, and she asked her if she could take her photo, and I think she's captured a beautiful expression on her face. Here we have work by Sandy McCleary. Sandy works with copper wire, and these lovely trees are sitting on top of some lovely coloured driftwood. Not sure if you can see the colours in it, but definitely very beautiful. Sandy also makes copper wire jewellery, often with beads in it. Next up we have the iconic Whakatane multi-canvas collaborative project. Involves 16 artists that I took this photograph and chopped it up and then gave it to all the artists along with a canvas to paint. Most artists painted between 1 and 4 canvases. And this here is a digital rendition of the work, which in total, with all the canvases joined together, is 16 feet by 5 feet, so it's quite an enormous work and hard to photograph. So we have these for sale. All proceeds will be going to the individual artists. And we also have postcards and folding cards. They'll be available on my website shortly. Here we have AJ Ceramics. Amanda is my daughter-in-law's sister, and she makes ceramics in Te Kuiti. She hasn't been doing it that long, but she does a fabulous job, and I love her glazes that she uses. Very subtle, but very beautiful. Unfortunately, these 2 lovely blue ones have sold, but I'm sure she'll be producing more. All of her works using New Zealand clays and glazes. These 2 paintings are by Andrew White, Andrew's been painting for a number of years, and he mainly paints plein air. I've known Andrew forever. I think we probably started school about the same time, and we're almost always in the same class at school. The top one is of from Rewhakaitu of Mount Tarawera, and the bottom one is Galatea from Kopariki Road, looking towards the Ekawhenua range. In this room we mostly have my flowers. Now this is my fabulous floral series and Flowers and Jess series, and my fabulous florals are made up of collage. I hand paint the paper and then I stick it down in a collage manner. I just sort it into tones so I can create curves and things just like I would in painting. Like in this vase here, you can see I've sorted my blues into tones, dark, medium and light. This one here is one of my most popular ones. It's only available as print, and that's Fab Floral 1. Here we have Flowers and Jest. That same sunflower arrangement, I also painted it in a gestural style. Here are the hydrangeas. Everyone seems to like the hydrangeas too. And some hibiscus flowers that I painted when I was in a workshop in Bali. This one here, it's hard to photograph because it's glass and it might have a slight flicker to it. But this is Who Cares Anyway. It's Indian ink wash on watercolour paper, and it's one of my artworks. And I was so stoked to have it chosen for the Miles Art Awards early last year, and the best part about that was it was displayed in a very beautiful gallery in Tauranga. It is a really nice gallery, so I was lucky to be my art displayed next to lots of other wonderful artists. This is another one that's sold. This is my orange vase. It's Fab Floral number 2, so that's the second one I created. Here we have another Flowers and Jest one that I pulled out that I hadn't seen for a while. Up here we have my father's butterflies. They're produced from driftwood, and in the driftwood, as you can see on that little globe, it's got naturally occurring funguses, and they produce the black lines within the wood. And he cuts them and folds them out so that, cuts the logs and then folds them out so that both sides of the butterflies will have the same markings, the same edgings on. He's just about, there's only 2 left for sale. It's work by Mark Anstis, and I am really lucky to have his work here because he's a very good artist. And he has produced these cows with the, hard to see again because we've got reflection of the glass. I'll try and get on an angle. Here we are. They're chalk and pencil on some paper that's got a little bit of tooth, so it picks it up. And they're beautifully framed, and I have sold 2 of them so far. There's still 2 available. And this is a very, very beautiful painting by Mark of the Rangataiki River, and it's looking from Rabbit Bridge and Galatea up towards the Ekawhenua range, our mountain range, and some beautiful colours and fabulous reflections. This is work by Georgia Vandenbroek. Georgia is doing her first year of NCEA level 1, and she's just submitted her portfolio and for her art, and she's shown me her work, and it is fabulous, and she is really coming along as a young artist. I have a limited range of Liberation jewellery left because I've been selling it. It's been selling like hotcakes, and everyone loves this recycled jewellery. In the middle here we have these are Matthew's specialty. The Liberation jewellery's, if you don't know, is my brother's company, and he makes these, and they are piano keys with guitar strings. So that's all recycled things that would otherwise be at the dump. And these little studs are fabulous. They are made from skateboard offcuts. Now the offcuts from the skateboard go to make knife handles, and the offcuts from the knife handles go to make jewellery. That especially those little studs.
These are my funky tree paintings.
Really cute.
They are summer, autumn, spring, winter, and then spring, and they're kind of painted in the colours that I would see at that time of the year.
These trees have been created from painting 40 square metres of fabric with test spots and house paint. Total marathon paint. I then cut the fabric up into strips, and I've wrapped it around the trees. Not until we did it a few hours before the exhibition opening, so I didn't know if it would work, but I was so wrapped because the actual result is much better than I ever thought. Right, I'll start you on my garden tour. It's end of November here, so these plants have probably only been in the ground a few weeks. They're cucumbers, come, and I think zucchini. Everyone has been commenting on my asparagus bed, so I'll take you a tour of my asparagus bed. This is my setup for the vegetable garden. Peter made me some raised beds for my birthday a few years ago. Don't these lettuces look gorgeous with their beautiful colours. We've got tomatoes that are already starting to form on the tomato bush. Here, look, this guy here, that's Bob. Lemons and a giant redwood or sequoia. It's in my garden. For my birthday this year I requested hanging baskets for presents, and I got 4 lovely hanging baskets from my mother-in-law and my parents for my birthday. How lucky am I? Got a watering system, so they get watered 3 times a day, just a short burst. Keep them looking fresh. This garden here is more about foliage than flowers. I just love the different colours you can get in the foliage. There'll be some white flowers and a few little tiny ones, but the whole, just loving these new plants. These are my new favourites, and they come in so many different colours, and they grow in Galatea where it gets very cold in the winter and very hot in the summer. I have a hosta collection which is okay. It's not doing so good. I think I can do better with my hostas. The hydrangeas are just starting to come out, so they're just in bud stage yet. They mainly be blue ones just because of our soil here. Some Charanthus biaflorus, I think, Uniflorus biaflorus. That's been there since we moved here 20 years ago. These poppies, they just come up in my garden. They just flower whenever. And as you can see from our garden, we have a beautiful view of the Galatea countryside. The roses are doing well. It's the New Zealand flax. It's a variation of the New Zealand flax, so a variegated one. New baskets, and as luck would have it, we are getting watered at the moment. Plants, so I'm not very good with plant names, but over the last year or so just keep buying 6 in a pack from the garden centre and adding them to the collection, but they're actually making little babies on their own. It's now in full flower. I nearly lost it. It was a cutting that my grandmother gave me, and when I was busy working on the farm I didn't always have time to trim the garden back. And this orange blossom plant here overtook it, and then when I cut it back I found it again. It was lovely that it was still alive, and now I've uncovered it, it's flourishing. These flowers here are roses, and they are the best roses to grow. They're called Pearl Spray, and they always have beautiful dark leaves on them that are always healthy, and I never have to spray them. Flower garden, so I've got quite often paint from these flowers from here. This is kind of why I grew it. We've got flounders, poppies, and these little Nigellas, I think. Not sure. They're in blue and white. They're quite nice to paint. I have irises, but only have that one out at the moment. My poppies have kind of gone pink, some of them. Gerbera's another favourite. Gerbera's are another favourite. I quite like these little things. They're a new favourite. They're lungworts. Need a bit of a weed already. We weeded everything the day before the exhibition, which was opened only 5 days ago, and look how much the weeds have come back. I think these are called Jacob's Ladder. They're actually quite good value, but they can get away on you. This is a yucca tree. My granddad grew it from a cutting and gave it to me. It would have been 20 years ago when we first moved here. Well, not even 20 years ago. We moved here in 2003. So it's now 2021. So not quite 20 years. And so that's how big it's got in that time.